5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hello, how the devil are you? I'm trying to keep calm here. You may have noticed. Has anybody else? Have you calmed down from last night? Fucking shit, wasn't it? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, goodbye, hello. Wherever you are in the world, one of those will apply to you. And to be quite honest with you, I wish I was on the other fucking side of the world at the moment. I wouldn't have to watch this drivel. Thank you for joining in with us. Today, we are rating the players. We're rating the players not just for yesterday, because we briefly ran through that at the end of the review, post-match review part of the watch-along yesterday. What we're going to be doing is rating the players old school. So a bit like O-levels. Do you remember O-levels? If you're my age, you will. You used to get A was well, you couldn't get better than an A. A, D, A, B, C, D, and then a U was unclassified. Yes, I did get one of those in physics. I think I only got a U because I actually managed to put my name down correctly. Discussing it with Brad as we go through. Please do feel free to join in. And if you're wondering why I'm talking so long, he's gone for a piss. So I'm trying to keep talking until he's ready to join us. But he is off camera, thank God. We're not going to be taking the piss. We're going to be honest here on the player ratings up until now. Rude takes over today, and then we'll review them at the end of the season and see if Rude has actually managed to improve any of them. You know, like Enzo did with Ndidi and Vestergaard? Well, we'll see. And we'll see if me and Brad actually agree. This is going to be brutal. This is going to be brutal. Hide behind the settees. Put the armour on. Do whatever you need to do. We ain't holding back. This is Chatting. If I can find it, this is Chatting City. Brad, how are we doing?
I'm a little bit calmer and a little bit better than I was at about this time yesterday, mate.
I mean, it was a joke, wasn't it?
No, jokes are funny. That was not funny. That wasn't even slightly funny to watch and have to deal with.
I'm a lot older than you. I'm
a lot being the key word there.
Cheers, buddy. And I have watched a lot of Leicester. I started watching Leicester basically when Gary Lineker joined, because as you know, I was in the same educational establishment as him. No, it wasn't Broadmoor, allegedly. Says, and I was sort of the end of the Bloomfield era when I started to watch them, and then of course into Frank McClintock's squad season, which was probably the most awful. Yeah, and we've seen some, even you at your age, we've seen some awful teams. You know, the Peter Taylor team once he got swapping things round, the Craig Levine team, the Ian Holloway era team.
Oh,
I
don't.
honestly think that this team is no better.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because on paper, and you look at the quality of some of these players, they should be better, and they should be a lot better. You know, we've had bad teams and bad periods before, but you've looked at the squad and gone, yeah, but the team was bad. I mean, the Levine era, it was self-brought, but we were called Leicester, weren't we? Because we were the Scottish Premier League side. Well, Scottish Championship side at that point. You know, Holloway had to pick up about 17 manager signings and tried to make some of his own and couldn't keep us up, went down to League One. And so, but this one just feels like, last time we was in this situation, Chris, which was only 2 seasons ago. It feels like if this squad was to go down, and especially to go down without fighting, it would be painful, because it would actually just be more embarrassing than most relegations we've had. You know, we thought it was bad going down with Madders, Tillemans, and them lot. This would be in that same bracket for me, because the squad on paper has the ability to do well and keep us in this division.
Right. Well, let's start disagreeing early on then, shall we? Because I think the squad that went down last time, with a different manager in, could have probably kept us up. No. Yeah, probably. This team, all right, look, we have got a couple of shining stars. Look, Mads Hermansen, we would be in a bigger pile of shit if it wasn't for him. Jamie Vardy. After that, I'm struggling to see if any of these teams, if any of the players we've got there now, and I know there's a couple that were in that squad, but whether they would actually get into that squad, they are that awful.
There's definitely a case for a few of them to not get in the team, isn't there? Of that era, period. There is, weirdly enough, well, there's one very obvious player, and I do famously play in that position, spoilers. But there is probably one or two that would get in that squad, and I'm probably clutching at straws after that to name players that would have got in that squad that could have kept us up that season.
Yes, yeah. I mean, yeah, well, look, I'm going to say, I haven't, and I do apologise, I did put the comments up, but good afternoon to Tommy, and hello to Jesse as well. And Easy is in. Yeah, it is easy to beat Leicester, isn't it? I said this before, we've lost our main creators and key players over the last 3 seasons. Well, we're going to go through them all. But look, Brad, you like an odd saying or two, don't you? You don't always get them. In fact, you like 2 always, because you generally mix 2 together.
A remix, mate, yeah.
You've been living with a DJ too long. That's what it is. But I want to throw a saying at you here, because I think this saying sums up this bunch of twats better than anything else. And that's this.
Wow, that's an unusual saying, but I get what it means, yeah.
It is, again, it's an old person saying, as my kids would say. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. And that, I'm afraid, is what we are asking Rude to do. If he can do this, then I think it's probably, I've got to say, maybe it's not quite up there with Ranieri's achievements, but it's going to be up there with O'Neill's. If he can keep this team up, I think he will have done one of the best jobs as a Leicester manager.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a bunch of outweighted misfits, isn't it? And it's probably actually, I would actually go more further back than what you've just said there. I would say it's very much like the O'Neill. It's got ragtag players that we didn't really see much in. We thought, oh, well, this isn't really living up to what we've just replaced. you know, and all right, O'Neill didn't have that. He kind of just brought in the ragtag, if you will. You know, your Graham Fentons, your Heskys, your Matt Elliott's and Pontus Kamarks and all that. And we kind of were like, well, okay, he's buying a bit of players out there. I mean, Heskey was obviously one of our own and that, but within that, you know, he brought in an aging Tony Coady, and we kind of sat there probably as fans going, well, as long as he keeps us up, I guess, but I don't think he's going to do much more than that. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
I feel like Ruud could be not to that level. I'm not going to put him in that bracket, but he has the potential to have something compared to that. You know what I mean? With this bunch of lads, if he chooses to stick around, of course, after keeping us up.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not arguing with what you're saying at all there, but the players that O'Neill had coined the phrase "Foxes never quit." This squad that we've got at the moment, and we're talking pre-Ruud here, so this is nothing to do with Ruud. You know, he's only just taken over today, so pre-Ruud, Foxes never quit. Foxes are always shit.
I mean, I like the play on words, but yeah, you're not too far off the mark with that either, really, because they do seem to. I was talking to DJ downstairs, as we'll know him as now on.
Yeah,
my housemate.
Your DJ downstairs, is that a euphemism for anything, Brad?
I mean, don't ask me.
I've heard it makes sweet music.
I'm just saying, I can't speak on someone's behalf, but they'd have to tell you. But anyway, and I said, the one thing that stunned me the most about Cooper's reign wasn't the appointment, Chris, but it was the fact that the last time I remember not quitting, never giving up, was probably the game that we deserved to get a battering in. And in the end, technically the scoreline looks like it did, but we didn't. And that was Arsenal away. I have not seen, and certainly didn't see any of it yesterday, I have not seen this squad go a goal behind or go in front and then get pegged back and keep showing that energy, that effort, that determination to win the game, get something out of it. Ever since then, Chris, I don't know what went on. Obviously, whatever it did was enough to lead Cooper to being replaced, but it just seemed like the team went, well, that's it. That's it. And you just got that feeling that the dressing room was at a mental state where it just went, oh, well, you know, Brentford were all over us. In that first 20-odd minutes, Chris, they were all over us. And we went down the other end and we nicked ourselves a goal and got ourselves in front. And now, if that had been Leicester, Chris, well, we saw what happened. Because literally Brentford, you know, if he was going to question how would Leicester handle being all over somebody and then going a goal down, well, Brentford went, oh, Q, you don't deserve that at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare fun war, we win. You know what I mean? Yeah. If we'd have gone 1-0 down after having 4 or 5 chances in that first 20 minutes, we would have capitulated. And that was so worrying.
Yeah. Actually, like you say, it's usually what happens to us. We usually play well and then concede against the run of play. I just want to say to everybody, that's this week's shows. If you've missed any of them, you've got our top on the board ruining our club. That was Locks and Craig arguing. New managers' dilemmas. I thought we had enough dilemmas for Ruud when we did the show on Tuesday. Even more there. We did the preview of Brentford. Also BC Game. What the fuck? They've gone, well, there we go. BC Game. Part of the biggest betting, gambling, illegally run ring in Europe, allegedly. We talked about Ruud being confirmed. Bless you, my son. And manager. And, of course, if you want to really torture yourself, if you are into S&M, there's the match day watch along from yesterday. Easy says, can you name one defender, a player that wants to put their body in line for the shirt, show a little passion? Well, we're going to go through all of the players now, Easy, one by one. I know if you're watching I'm a Celebrity, Ant and Dec always go in no particular order, but we're going to go in alphabetical order. I thought that was the fairest way. So what we're going to do is we were going to avoid them and award them an A, which is obviously the best they can get, a D, which is the lowest rating that we can give them, or they could also get a U, which is unclassified, which means basically
Useless.
yes, just fuck off and never come back again. Now, so we're going to start with, and I haven't got a graphic for this one, because these are all players that have played sometime this season. And I believe as Alves has been on the pitch, hasn't he? Ladies and gentlemen, Alves is on the pitch.
Maybe for a minute or two, but
well, I was going to say we'll probably exclude him then, because it's really hard to judge him on the time that we have seen him. So let us go from the sow's ear to your love child, Jordan Ayew.
I've actually been impressed with him. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, and he's not really my cup of tea for what we needed in that area. I mean, if you just said to me, Brad, you're going to bring back Akinbaye in disguise, and you're going to sign a 31-year-old to partner up front with Jamie Vardy, I'd have turned around and said, and ironically been correct, and gone, why don't we spend that money on a right back instead? But it's almost like us fans were the only ones that could see it when he had one genuine.
I think that's football, though. Fans are only ever the people that can see these things, you know.
I know. But to be fair, no, Ayew's impressed me. He's probably done more for us in front of goal and in terms of winning. Well, not winning because we only won 2, but in terms of getting us points on the board and getting us goals. Well, I say that. No, winning. He scored the goal against Southampton. So, yeah. I wouldn't give him a B, Chris. I've actually been reasonably impressed. I think people will actually sit here and think what Ayew's done and gone, yeah, actually, he's done well.
Yeah, so you're going for a B.
Yeah. Now, Chris, are we doing minus and pluses just to make it a bit interesting? Can we?
If you want to, then.
Yeah.
If you want to, we'll do minus and pluses.
I'll give him a solid B because he's not B plus material, but he's not B minus. You know what I mean? No. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I'll let you do that. Don't say I don't give you anything.
Merry Christmas.
No, that is your Christmas and birthday present all rolled into one. Right, for me, look, you know I wasn't keen on this as a sign-in.
Not keen on him as a sign-in. You wanted him in my old folks' home where I work.
Well, I'll still stick by that because if we're saying that Jamie Vardy can't play 90 minutes, I think we can probably say Jordan Ayew struggles with 90 minutes.
Yeah. If only we had a low need, it was like 21, 22 that we could call back. Eh?
Well, if only. But look, for me, he's got us out the shit a couple of times. And he does what it says on the tin. If you remember, I spoke to the... where was it? He came from Palace, wasn't it? I spoke to the Palace fans, and they said, no, was it Fulham? Was it Fulham?
No, this is Palace. Your other love child's Fulham.
I get confused. And the guy at Palace said, you know what? He will come on, and if you break the game up, if you're under a bit of pressure, he'll get you the free kicks that might lead to something, sneak an odd goal here and there. But he is an impact sub.
Although when we swap front, I think he can probably do more from the start.
I see him as an impact sub. I don't see him as a 90-minute player. I think if we start him, we start him on the wing, and I think he's actually fucking awful on the wing. When he comes on, it's usually as a replacement. Usually, and I say usually here for Vardy. Or he's certainly in a more attacking role. And that's basically, funnily enough, where he's got our goals from, you know. So I'm only going to be able to give him a C.
You're a harsh teacher.
No, I just think if there was a player that we've signed that could do it for the whole 90, and I know he's moaned and he said in the press that, well, I don't want to just be this sort of impact. So, well, that's what you are, mate. That's what you are. Easy has said here, one of our best players this season, and I probably wouldn't argue with that, Easy. But C, actually, when you see some of the other points we're going to be giving, C probably makes him one of our best players this season. Oh, now Easy's gone above you. He's gone for a B+.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't put him that high because there is players I've got in mind. Surprisingly, that might go above the B mark. But I've started to call him Mr. Ronseal because, like the advert, he does exactly what he says on the tin. We was told, Chris, weren't we? He'll make a nuisance of himself. He'll come and hold up the ball. He'll win your free kicks, and he'll come in with vital goals. Like Easy says that we wouldn't have got 4 points if it wasn't for him. And that was against Southampton and Ipswich. So he's doing exactly what he said on the tin, mate. He's Mr. Ronseal.
He is. But I would say to Easy, we are not judging this. If we're judging this on those 2 games, he'd probably get an A. But we're not judging him on these 2 games.
He's had games where
he started and did nothing and got pulled off. Lucky bugger. GPM has given him a B, so he has agreed with you. Yeah. So remember that this is over 13 games, which is the third of the season when you think about it. And I have to say a big, huge thank you to Newcastle, to Brighton, to Forest, and to a degree, I don't know, definitely to Bournemouth as well for all beating the teams below us. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank the Lord for that. And thank you very much, Crystal Palace, for finding your way to get a late equaliser.
Because that got me. Because Villa couldn't fucking score one for me, could they?
No, and Chelsea had to go goal happy when I only wanted them to score one.
No, out 3-0, I was thinking, end it now.
Yeah. I know, Chris, that's the thing as well. How did we manage to only lose 2-1 to Chelsea and they got battered?
Well, I think they took sympathy on us. I think Enzo said, let's not rub it in here. My mate's coming in. Guys, if you are in the chat, do join in, like I say. Can you just put the initials or something before your letters, just in case we fall a bit behind and then we know sort of who you're talking about. Buenete, never fall in love with a lone player, Brad.
No, the last one I did, the last one I did is now out for the season. Thankfully we made him permanent, but the other one before that, the board cost us. Mr. Adamona Lutman, who's gone on to win European acclaims and is doing really well at Atalanta. Still don't forgive Top for that because I really liked him. And just imagine this wing power we would have with Mavididi, obviously not this season, but could have been Fatawu and Lutman. But there we go.
But would it not have been Mavididi and Lutman?
Well, that's what I meant. You could have, at least with Fatawu being injured for the season, we'd have had Lutman in there to fill the gap. But there we go.
I think if we'd got Lukman, we wouldn't have got Fatawu necessarily.
Well, yeah, that is true. That's how the world of football works. You never know. But still, don't fall in love with a loanee. And I think even if we stay up, we can't fall in love with this because we're not going to be able to afford the 40, the south of 40, the north of 40 million it's going to cost to get him because that'd be our transfer budget. And I don't know if you know this, Chris, but we only have one right back, so we might need to be spending that elsewhere, especially in January.
I feel like we'll bring another defensive midfielder in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. We'll need another CDM, don't we? Of course we do. But no, Buenate's been brilliant, but he is starting to show moments of frustration. And again, it was part of the team did the same thing, but when we went 1-0, 1-1, then 2-1 in quick succession, he just seemed to just go AFK, as the kids would say. He went away from the game. He just wasn't there for about 20 odd minutes before he started going again. And then Brentford made it 3-0 at the worst time for Leicester on the stroke of half time. I'm going to say up until the last few weeks, I would have had him at an A, but it's a B+ for me. Because he's just started to drop a little bit. His naivety, his childness, if you will, just seemed to creep in a little bit. And with Mr. Ruud van Nistelrooy now at the home, I don't think he'll get away with that. So for me, I'm going to go B+ because he's just lost the shine off that A for me.
He is one of our shining stars, isn't he?
He is.
And have I missed an N out of his name? No, I haven't. He has only got one N in his name, GP. And I thought you were correcting my spelling there, but you've misspelt it. He is one of our most bright lights this season, but he is very frustrating. Now, I don't know that that's simply because he is good, because like I said to you, I've seen... I think he was just writing the name down. So he was giving points. I've lost it. I've seen Gaza at Burnley, and it wasn't that Gaza was particularly, past his best or anything like that. His brain was still sort of 10 moves ahead, but Burnley just couldn't keep up with him on the pitch. And I think sometimes that is the thing with Buenete. I think he outshines everybody else, and he tries to do things, and people can't keep up with him. But it does frustrate me. If beating two players and making the pass is the option, he will try and beat four players.
Yeah.
So, looking at the negative side, that's why I've got to go for a B. I'm being a bit more harsher than you, aren't I?
No, but to be fair, you set the foundation with Ayew, so your jump up to a B is like me going my little jump up, to be fair.
Yes,
so.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about pluses and minuses, I'm going to be honest with you.
I just want it to be smug and just be different.
So GPM's gone A, Easy's gone A minus. I think he's a cam. He struggles out wide. Well, look, we know he's a cam, but that's for that. Why come to Leicester and be played out of position? That's how we should sell the club. What, you bored with your normal role at a football club? Come to Leicester. We'll play you in goal, even if you think you're a striker. He is still young, yes. I'm in a very sarcastic mood today. I haven't seen much of this gentleman. To be quite honest with you, and I remember we touched on this on the post-match yesterday, I would have preferred him at right back and Justin at left back. But there we go. Your thoughts on that, on our Hamza?
I want to see exactly that, because at least he's got the experience at playing right back, and we've seen him play it at this level before and do it really well. And with no Ricardo Pereira, it needs to be a right position, because no spoilers, but JJ's not going to be a very star student. Let's put it that way, because of having to play on the right. For me, I want to see more of Hamza Chowdhury. I want him to start playing. I want him in that right back position. Unfortunately, because I've only seen him play a handful of minutes, I can only give him a C minus. Because I don't remember him doing anything wrong, but he hasn't played enough for me to even. I can't give him a D, because for me that's you're doing a bit crap for me. You know what I mean? I'm going to give him a C minus.
He's actually played 10 times this season.
Has he? I wouldn't know that many.
No, I mean, that's not necessarily starting 10. I was
going to say, that has to be last-minute substitute sort of things, and you can't judge someone on 4 or 5
Well, let me put it this way. Sorry, he's in the squad. Sorry, I do apologise. 10 times he's been in the squad.
Get your facts right, Chris. Come on. You love your
the index at the top, when I go down to try and find him, disappears off the screen because they're not in bloody alphabetical order. 3 starts he's made. You're going for a D, did you say?
No, I'm going to C minus.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You're fucking awful. I'm gonna take that off you, that plus and minus.
You don't, you can lose it, really.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a... See, I gave Ayew a C.
You can always change your grades. Just saying.
No. I'm going to go for a D plus.
You're right. I was in that sort of mindset. Do I want to be nice and give him a C? And I think I have probably been a bit nicer to him, because it's not his fault he's not been picked.
Oh no, I've gone D plus on the proviso that he has hardly played.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's what I'm going for. Like Easy said here, hardly played. A B though off GPM, fair enough. Wayne's in. Hi Wayne, how you doing? Brunette B plus. You've agreed with Brad. Hamza, 10 times in the squad. I did get that a little bit wrong. Interesting to see how many A's you two give. Don't hold on for them. There we go. And Easy said, I can't really say, not seen him enough to judge. Yeah, I mean, that is. I'm going to put a little star here, and I'm going to put hardly played, and that is why we have given them those particular results.
Yeah.
So Charlton gets a star.
I think I agree with the comment that's just come up by GPM. When he has played, that's what's made me give him the C minus, because if we're judging him off the bare minutes he's managed, he's not done anything wrong.
Yes, yeah.
I
mean, if I'd given
you know what you say about the 5 and 6s, C minus, D plus.
Exactly. And I started off with my C for Ayew, and so I've kind of had to.
Yeah, see, that's why when they're a good player. Go on.
I might have to go back and change Ayew. I can't, can I?
You can. Go on. Just do it.
All right, then. If that's the case, I'm going to go C plus for Ayew.
Oh, he's getting fancy with his pluses now.
I'm going to go.
You can hate me.
My pluses are like me 2-2s. I picked the wrong one here. Sorry, he wasn't one of the match. Ignore it. I just clicked on the wrong image. But Connor Coady, God help us, Brad. Go on. You go for it.
I'm going to get stick for this, I feel. You for useless.
Wow.
Conceded 4 with him at the back against Brentford. Was utterly out of position for most of the goals. And when we get to Mr. Hairbear Bunch, we'll criticise him and all, but he didn't help him out by leaving gaps. Cost us 3 points against fucking Palace by going with his leg when he had no reason to. He should have just tackled him like a normal centre-back. Spends more time in TalkSports Centre than he does the training ground centre. Utterly useless. You.
Wow.
I mean, I won't sit on the fence on the next one, Chris. I'll...
No, please don't. Just say what you think. I'm just a bit worried that I've loaded up more of these. No, I haven't. I apologise for sticking him down as man of the match. But if he ever gets to be voted for man of the match, I've got the graphic ready.
That's very true. At least you're that ready. I mean, he might be man of the match for oppositions.
That said, it'll be a different strip by then. But, I've given him a D, in fairness, because the U's I'm going to give are going to be real U's. So I've gone for a D.
Oh, well, this is a real U, mate. I think he's been utterly useless.
Well, I saw him yesterday, at least trying to organise the defence. He was barking instructions out and telling people, come on, get back into line, get back into position. So I've got to give him credit for that. But like you say,
he couldn't organise an orgasm in an orgy.
I'm going nowhere with that one. Right.
Nor is he, funny enough.
Moving on. GPM's giving him a D. Easy, there's no F, but there is, like I say, a U. Although he's given F for failure. Now we're going A, B, C, D. It's like the old O-level and A-level grades. A, B, C, D, and then U for unclassified. Connor Coady, the clue's in his name, double C. Oh, Wayne. Right, let's move on. And the next person up, who isn't man of the match, Patson Daka.
He's played, right?
I mean, if you can include pre-season in these if you want, because I am doing.
I didn't care for pre-season, my.
Well, that's in a way. That's why I probably Ayew, because Ayew impressed me pre-season.
I honestly couldn't tell you anything he's done this season, apart from get injured. I can tell you that.
Maybe give him an A+ for having the decency to get injured.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Dear.
For less reasons than Connor Coady, he's not played much. He's apparently played some minutes. I wouldn't know, but it has to be Ayew. I've not known Patson. The only time I've ever known Patson Daka was on the pitch is because the announcer goes, "I'm coming on for Leicester City's number 20, Patson Daka," and I'm like, "Oh, is he? Great." I played with 10 men. So you.
He's played 2, but no starts. He's actually played 39 minutes for us this season.
I could not. If you asked me to pick one or 2 minutes that I remember of Patson Daka in Leicester at the season, I'd tell you pass because I couldn't remember.
Yeah. So,
I don't even think in 39 minutes he's had a touch in the opposition box or had a shot.
Yeah, I've got to say, sorry, I was double. Did you go you? Sorry.
Yeah.
You went you. You went you. Well, I went you as well. Because I'm going to have to give him a U. Basically, look, last season, I did my best to defend him, although he is a striker. I did my best to defend him, bum. Not the fact that I thought he was primetime Messi or anything like that, but simply because I thought he took unfair stick when other players, as you know, we've been there last season, didn't take stick. But let's face it, he's crap.
Yeah.
I mean, the one shot I've seen him have in any game this season when he's been on, it was what I would call a Jeffrey Schlupp. He did a Schlupp, as in he put it in low double Z. You know what I mean? So I can't. He hasn't played much, I have to say, and I will star him for that. But yeah, it's a U. It's a U. Easy's gone a U. He's agreed with us. GPM's gone a D. He said or an E, but we can't go E because we don't do E. Well, this is what we're saying. This is why GPM, we're doing this now, and then we can compare it at the end of the season. And see
I would honestly love to be able to come on this show at the end of the season with May. I would love it. To come back on here at May, because we'll have to make sure it's me and you that did it because we've done the grades, right? And I'd love to say the award for most improved goes to Patson Daka. Because
I'm writing them down there, mate. So it is me.
There you go. I would love to be able to turn around at the end of the season and go, "Oh my God, how has this guy gone from a U to an A?"
Yeah.
I can't see it, but I'd love for that to be true more than anything else.
Yeah. He says, Lloyd Dyer, if you know, you know.
Hey, now, come on. Dyer could score some goals. That's the difference.
Yes, he got the goal that got us promoted, if you remember. Now, do you want me to go with this first?
Go on, Chris. I tell you what, I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna have a vape off camera, and I'm just gonna let you enjoy your moment.
Tell everybody.
Tell me why this
on camera. I'm just looking to see if he's even actually on this list. He isn't actually on the list with any stats at all.
Does that surprise you?
Well, not it shouldn't do, should it? Let's have a look. Let's have a look on. I've got 2 sites open. I better close Pornhub down, I guess, haven't I?
Chris.
Cordova-Reid.
Don't get too excited talking about
He's been in the squad 14 times. Which, I mean, this obviously includes League Cup as well.
I was going to say, he's doing now. He's doing well if he's already put himself on the team sheet for Tuesday.
Do you know how many appearances he's made?
7.
Nope. Higher?
9.
Higher?
14.
Lower?
12.
Lower?
10.
Yes!
Oh, yeah. There's only so many numbers. I was running
you don't get anything for a pair. Not in this game, you don't.
Yes, minimally.
The Cordova-Reid, complete and utter waste of time. Why? We bought him on a free, and to be quite honest with you, that was too much. The guy is a complete and utter. He just think whilst he's here, he's actually breathing somebody else's oxygen that could do more with it. I mean, just to say, why? Exactly. What a waste of space. Offers nothing coming on. I was very sarcastic during yesterday's game, said 3-0, 4-1 down whenever we were. Don't worry, guys, we'll turn this round. Cordova-Reid's coming on. I think he ran on the pitch, and I honestly think he ran off the other side because I didn't see him after that. I'm actually going to go here. This might surprise you. It might surprise you, Brad. I'm going to go for a U-.
A U-.
Yes.
A U-, folks. We've heard it here first. A U-. I'm going to make a comparison to a player that we'll talk about a lot later on because of alphabetical reasons. Yeah. He is this season what Boubakary Soumaré was when Brenda was picking Tielemans and Mendy over him. I hope that the same thing sort of happens to him that's happening with Soumaré right now, and in next season maybe he settles in and gets games. I can't see it. He is, in fact, when you put a player on, maybe, you manage a youth level or whatever, and you've got that kid that turns up every week, wind, snow, rain, hail, and he always works his hardest, and he's not very good. He's not very good. It's just me outfield, right? But you feel bad for him because he tries his hardest and he never moans, he never cries, and that's the ball hits him in the face like that one time we did at Winter. Oh, sorry, I was having a traumatic flashback. He never shirks responsibility, always wants to help out. So you go on there and you tell him to make a nuisance of himself, and he gets in the way of his teammates more than he does the opposition. But enough about my life on field. And it's also Bobby Cordova-Reid, who I'm annoyed at because I was hoping he'd be that solidarity player that would surprise a few. Bit like Ayew for this season for you, Chris. He's surprised. And he's underwhelming.
After all this, you're going to give him an A, aren't you? I feel it in my water.
Oh, you can. Your water's very, it's stagnant and stinking if you think that, mate. I am going to be a little bit kinder than you. I'm going to give him, for one reason, just tongue-in-cheek because Easy Gamer mentioned it, I'm going to give him a U+.
A U+?
Yes.
No, you cannot put a plus next to that man.
I can.
I'm sorry. I'm calling VAR in. Here we go. What the fuck? Where did that? No, you're not having a plus. No. I'm not. I'm writing it down as a U. Put a plus next to that guy will never have a plus next to his name as long as he lives. I went this way. If he got invited to a wedding,
stop your.
No, but if they invited Bobby Cordova-Reid to a wedding and said, "Bring a +1," that'd be rubbed off. He wouldn't even get that.
Chris, time it, clip it. You need to have the meltdown on the short. Oh, that was brilliant. I only said U+.
He's not that good. He isn't. I'm overriding you. Can you see that? I've put him down as a U. I'm overriding you. I'm sorry. There's no way you're getting a. There's no way he's getting a plus. Right, let's have what people have been saying. Wayne says, "God bless you, Chris, for the first time in his life. Patson has a star." Easy. See, Easy's gone U. GPM has gone U. Send him home. Got us a penalty. I don't fucking care. Honest with you, he probably tripped himself up and the referee didn't see it. That's probably what happened there. He makes Jeff look world class. Yes. That's Daka, of course. Andreas is in high, and Wayne says this is hilarious. Right, moving on quickly before I have a heart attack and get really annoyed with Brad. There's not much I'm going to disagree with you, but that one I'm overruling you. VAR said it remains as the U. El Khannous.
I feel sorry for him because obviously, Buonanotte is outshining him in the role he's in. And he's just not had a chance to really get his consistency going. Got his first goal for us against Man United in the Cup, which I'm sure Ruud van Nistelrooy took notes on. Nearly scored that great goal against Southampton and a wonderful first Premier League goal. But aside from that, he hasn't really been able to get going. And he didn't play that bad in the game against Chelsea. In fact, for that first 45 minutes, on track to be our man of the match because he was our only bright spark.
Yeah.
Realistically, going forward and making good passes. I'm going to give him a C because I don't think he's done anything wrong. He's just unfortunately behind a very good player at the moment in Buonanotte in the pecking order. Maybe Ruud finds a system where he can get both of them on the pitch at the same time. I don't know. We'll see.
We will see. We will see indeed. I'm just looking at him here. He's played 8 matches, 280 minutes. His XG is 0.1. But look, for the first time this evening, I'm agreeing with you. And again, I think it's unfortunate that he hasn't had more time. I'm hoping that this is going to be a Soyuncu sort of situation where he came in, couldn't get into the team because of Maguire, but when Maguire moved on, he'd had that year to bed in and get to know that another country and get to know Leicester, and obviously the rest, as you said earlier, is history. I think the same may happen with El Khannous. Would I mind seeing El Khannous in the same team as Brunetti? Why not? Why can't we have two potentially, not star players, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Very lethal CMs, yeah.
Creative, yeah. Well, for me, creative players. I'm going to have to give him a... You see, I gave Ayew a C+, didn't I? I'm going to give him a C+ as well. And I think when he's been on, I don't think he's been, as I say, that awful, to be honest with you. Again, sometimes played out of position. Surprise, surprise. But no, I think he's done all right when he's been on. So I've given him a C+. A C+. Are you writing these down as well?
No.
Oh,
I'm just making it finished. Sorry.
That's all right. Don't know what I meant. No way. But that needs more time. Yeah, C, but need more time. Playing the blinder yesterday. Ruud van Nistelrooy, please get these young uns on. Did El Khannous come on yesterday?
I don't remember him coming on.
He did. No. Mind you, Wayne, I don't think had a stream, so he may have been watching another game. He ain't been too bad. C, I would say, said easy gaming. Well, yeah, C+, C's. We're all pretty much in the same ballpark. Here we go. Here we go. I should say. It's the Hair Bear Bunch. The man, the myth, the legend. That is Mr. Wild Face.
Well, where do you start? I really wanted this to be a season. I really do. And I did. And I really did, tongue in cheek on your post, said that before the Brentford game, or when it was playing, the commentator said Wout Faes has made the most clearance this season for any player in the Premier League. And I couldn't help but have my little brain decide to go, yeah, I bet 90% of that was his own doing, though. And look, I'm gonna name names. Coady, Coady at times, Justin haven't helped him out to be in them situations. GPM, you're on drugs. I've just seen what he's put in. But still, the fourth goal, I think it was the third goal, they're all so similar. It's hard to tell. He got cut through like a hot knife through butter, and he really should have been sliding across, and he'd have dealt with it, because it either would have slid out of play for a corner, or he would have got a block on it and been able to get up and clear the ball away from danger. There's so many basic things that a 12-year-old could do that he's not doing. It's baffling how he keeps getting picked every week. Rude's either going to fix it or throw it. You know what I mean? It's like trying to restore something that's rusty and broken. You're either going to pull off a miracle, or you're going to give up on a project and have to bend it off. I'm going to give him a D-. I can't give him a U because he has done well in certain games. He has actually shown he's a good centre-back, and he's got a goal to his name. But they're very few, so very few and far between. I've had to dig in the vault and find their memories, Chris, I'll be honest with you.
Right, sorry, I'm still in shock with, like you said, with GPM. Mate, I want not a pint, I want a litre of whatever you are drinking, please.
Hey, if that's great he's given for him, I don't want any of it. That's how it affects his brain thinking when it comes to our face. I don't want any of it.
I'm sorry. Does he have a twin brother or something? Like, this guy got absolutely savaged by his home nation's press. That's the Belgian press after the recent international break. They were saying how crap he was and how was he getting into the Belgian team. This is his third season for us. What was his last season in the Premier League? Oh, yeah. We got relegated, didn't we? How is he still wearing a Leicester shirt? You know, yesterday, I can't remember which goal it was because they scored so many so quickly, but one of them, the guy ran through him and James Justin. Neither of them were able to put a tackle in, and he just went through and scored. This guy, he can't defend. He cannot defend. You could put, and I'm going to use something I said yesterday about another player, but I'm going to apply it to about Faes, and I think you'll agree with me. You could put a traffic cone in his position on the pitch, and it would stop more than bloody Wout Faes would. Am I right?
I mean, you're not wrong, Chris. You're not. And it is a shame because throughout the seasons at Leicester, even in that relegation season, he had moments where you thought, oh, he actually knows what he's doing. But they were so few and far between. And this season, it's been the same. It was the third goal as well. The fourth goal was a cut-free pass. It was a third goal where they were both running back and didn't lay a glove on him. That's concerning. And just remember these little JJ incidents when we talk about JJ.
Yeah, no. It's up here. Nothing else is, but that's up here. I have got to give him this, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. Well, you gave him a D-, didn't you, really?
Mm-hmm.
I've given him a U. I'm not even going to try and attempt to give him a plus on there. He just gets a plain, boring, standard U for useless.
I can understand it. I just know in the very deep in my brain there is some positive moments I remember Wout Faes doing. For some reason I didn't go that low.
I'm trying to think. Please do find the clips and send them to me.
Scored against Fulham. That's definitely one of them. That's about it. But he has had some good moments, some clearances. But yeah.
Well, anyway, let's go back. The Leicester City squad is absolutely shite. I think that's basically what we're saying. Everybody's saying the same at GPM. What you smoking? Wayne, I don't get you, Tyler, whatever it was, comment. Did you mention somebody mention Tyler Dibley?
Yeah, Wayne did. I don't get it.
No, I don't get it either.
That one's, sorry, Wayne, but that one's just gone.
Yeah,
right.
Gone over. It's got stuck in Wout Faes' hair. Faes plays like a schizophrenic sideshow, Bob. 12 convos gone on his head and all of them blaming other people. Very true. D for easy. That's been very, very generous. GPM trying to dig himself out the shit now. Joking, GPM. It's all about opinions. You're entitled to yours as well. But he's a championship player. Wayne, fourth goal, Chris. Did you know their player was making a run? Basic park footy. Yeah,
the goal you were describing, the third one and the fourth one were very similar, but I think the fourth one, he could have slid in and stopped the ball getting past him, and he just chose not to. It was just, he's right either way, though.
No, mate, you don't. GPM, all joke. Look, we have banter on this show. This show doesn't take itself too seriously, or this channel. You go with what you go, because it's all about opinions, mate. And we've not been too different so far, me and Brad, but we will differ later on, I'm sure. Andres 100%. Chris has been shocking all season. Faes, you're not good enough. Reese is a Leicester fan. Gaming is just, again, voicing his opinion that he thinks the team is shite. And let's be honest with you, I am not going to change. I'm not going to argue with him. GPM, I'm not making a note of them, mate. So if you want to put it as a C, you will count that as a C. Don't worry. Championship form. Tyler Dibley playing every game at Southampton. He's 18-year-old. Meanwhile, Alves gets sod all time. Now you've explained it.
We get it.
Yeah. But I don't know in what context. But anyway, there we go. Go. I'll have send me a bottle of what you're drinking round, please. Here we go. Fatawu. We're going to miss him, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be painful without him on that side, because I just wonder how Dawson Shitcreek would have lined up had he had two available wingers.
Can I just say, sorry, if I have to go suddenly, I'll expect you to talk a lot, because Amazon are about to deliver a parcel.
Oh, well, there you go, Chris.
Pretty typical, isn't it?
Yeah. Unfortunately, his season's come to an end. And like I said, maybe if Fatawu and Mavididi were both available with the way he lined things up, Dawson Shitcreek would have played Fatawu and Mavididi, not two left and right backs. Well, sorry, let me correct that. He wouldn't have played two left backs on the right wing and left wing in that game. Because I think that was a very strange choice. God, I feel sorry for Thomas when it gets to him. Unfortunately, Chris, his season was ended through injury before it could even get going. He had sparkling moments, but was nowhere near that championship juggernaut that he was for us last season. And just when you thought, give this guy a run, he'll get some goals, get some assists, and he'll start doing well, ACL. Yeah. I'm going to give him, because it won't change, unfortunately, but I'm going to have to give him a D+, because he was frustrating. He wasn't quite at that level. And like I said, Chris, just when it looked like it might start going for him. So unfortunately, that's one grade that no matter what we give here, won't change coming into the season.
11 match day squads, 11 matches, 6 starts. He maybe was a bit of a downfall with his own success from last season, that all the Premier League managers went, this is one we've got to keep an eye on. He never quite was, and maybe it was that step up, and maybe one thing Cooper got right was that this was a step too high for him. But yes, I agree with what you're saying. He didn't, again, you're a bit like Brenette. Why take two passes, go past two players and pass when you can go past 3 or 4 and lose it? Yeah. And for that reason, again, not a lot different to you, I've gone a C-.
Yeah, like I said, just for me, I think that naivety showed. I think he was just when he could have started settling, Chris, he was only just figuring out that you can take it past 3 or 4 players when they're Plymouth Argyle, but you can't do that when it's a very well organised Brentford side. And I'm just going to quickly give Brentford a lot more credit for their demolition job than we did through our anger last night. Because on home form, Chris, they have dropped 2 points this season. Would be 2 points clear of the league.
Home
they
form.
would be top of the league. Yeah, and they've only dropped 2 points at home. They'd have, I think they got 19 out of a possible 21. So, okay, maybe given where our head's at, 4-1 actually is probably what we should have been expecting to happen.
Interesting post I put out earlier was, and it was very embarrassing for Leicester. The players should hang their heads in shame. But Thomas Frank came out and said he actually thought it was going to be a harder game.
Yeah, and to be fair, he should have expected a harder game. You know, we're talking like, you know, like that should be shown to the players. When they have like meetings, they should say, listen to what Frank said about the game. And when he goes, oh, I was expecting a harder game, I would then turn around and go, do you know why he expected a harder game? Because of the quality you actually all possess and the potential you all have to do far better than what you did in that game. I would use that in a way. Rude actually has the perfect benchmark to go, that's as low as we go this season. We never play this bad again this season. We can lose games against your Man Cities, although they love losing at the moment. They're losing right now. You know, we can lose to your Arsenals, we can lose to your Liverpools, but we never play as bad as we did today, or yesterday as it is now.
Yeah, as Wayne said there, that was damning what Frank said. It certainly was. I have a feeling, because I am the next stop on this parcel. It says 1 stop away, so I might have to go. So I'll go first with the next one, and then if you can go after, if that's okay.
Drag it out until the stop comes, and then I can take over.
Yeah. Mads Hermansen. I put a post up earlier on today with the formation and 11 shit emojis. And I was probably being unfair to 1 or 2 players. And Mads was probably one of them. I've always said that a goalkeeper is only really as good as the defenders in front of him. And he's been, I mean, you know, Schmeichel was let down that season. We got relegated before he left. And so was Mads Hermansen this season. He's kept us in it some games when it would have been a lot worse in other games. And I'm probably only going to give 2 of these out during this show. But I'm going to give him an A because he has kept us in it. A few goals, maybe you could argue he could have done better. But generally speaking, most of the goals that have been scored have not been his fault. For me. So I'm going to give him an A. Like I say, not many A's from me. I'm going to go now just in case it comes. I will hand you over to Bradders here, and you can see the chat as well, can't you? So you can.
Yeah, I can do all that. Yeah.
You can't move the graphics over, can you? Or can you?
I don't think so. Well, I don't think I can because you're in control of the slides. So I could probably put banners and things.
Just to say, the next one is that one. If you do want to start talking about it, you might be a while on that one. But
God.
Go for Mads, and I'll be back ASAP.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Right. Well, Chris Booker's off. Hurry up. Come on. Booker off. Shoo. There he is. He's gone. Right. You know, we compare these ratings and we kind of give, you know, euphemisms and whatever to what it is. And if Mads Hermansen was back at school, I'd imagine he's the sort of student that every teacher loves because he puts an apple on your desk, his uniform's prim and proper, he's always raising his hand to give answers, he's the team leader in team projects, and he's doing his own work before the school lessons even finish and getting top marks. This guy has the fortunate/unfortunate record of having to make the most saves in a game in the Premier League. Now, I don't know if that's just this season or if he beat the record that was set by another great goalkeeper, formerly of Manchester United, David De Gea. He made, I think, about 12 or 13 saves in the game. Madsen made 14 against Arsenal. We should have lost that game 8-9-2. At best, we should have. If it wasn't for him, we would have lost against Brentford 6-7-1. Had he not been in goal for Spurs, we would not have got a point. We would have lost that game. If it wasn't for him against Bournemouth, we wouldn't have won that game. We would have drawn or lost that game. You do not say this that often about a player, right? And considering we are crapping ourselves a point above the relegation zone after 13 games, and we haven't won a game since Bournemouth at home, and we've been shipping goals left, right and centre. Remember, we're talking about a goalkeeper who, if it wasn't for so many great, fantastic saves, you could have added 2-3 goals plus onto the score lines of most of our games this season, if not all of them. I'm being honest with you here. Let's call it as it is. You know, if Danny Ward, or Iverson was in goal, I see them goals being conceded. I really do. And I would put this guy currently on a higher pedestal than Kasper Schmeichel for how many more goals he's prevented happening. And we would be Southampton right now. The only fight we would be doing is trying to not finish 20th with Southampton. I'm going to give this guy, and this will be the only one of these from me. I'm not saying there might not be another one of this letter, but this will be the only one from me. For those of you that are a bit younger, maybe know this grade that came in, I'm not going to go A+. Chris can write it down as an A+ if he wants. I'm going A* because he has been an A* student. If there is anybody throughout the entire minutes of football, the 13 games, every single second of that game, that has never shirked his responsibility and never dropped his standard of playing, it is this man. Madsen, from goalkeeper to goalkeeper, you are a true blessing in this squad, because I struggle to see a game that we have played and got points. We're adding stars now, mate. He's getting a gold star. We would struggle to have any points on the board if he didn't pull out saves out of absolutely nowhere. There is some performances he has had this season and some saves he has made in games where you could go, Jesus Christ, it was like watching prime Peter Schmeichel, prime Edwin van der Sar, prime Gianluigi Buffon, prime Ike Casillas. He has been up there in the upper echelons of discussions, and that's not just Leicester fans. That's pundits talking about us. Even scumbag Chris Sutton, who hates us, by the way, who hates us, if it's an unknown fact, he really just hates us. You know, they all praise Madsen. They absolutely love him. And honestly, I could talk about this guy all day. A+, A*, put him in the prefect school, whatever it is you want to put him in, top player. Nobody lays a glove. Prime De Gea, another example there. You know, says Prime De Gea says easy gaming. And I think, funny enough, Easy, I'm going to use your name, this has been the easiest player for us all to grade, because I'm just going to scroll back up here. The man typifies it though, doesn't he, Easy? We're asking for all the rest of them to show it. This man typifies showing the passion you see, and you've agreed with an A. GPM, you've gone A. Wayne's even gone A for him. You know, he even says here, Defo, Brad, would be bottom. I think we would. I think we'd be making Southampton look like peak Man City with the amount of points we'd have less than them. And they've only got 5. Andreas, agree, Brad. I mean, this is the easiest grade you're going to give all season, and I don't see this changing. You know, I don't even see this being one where we go from like an A+ to an A- or something. He will be our player of the season. He's going to be the reason we stay up, because I don't, even if Ruud gets us playing attacking football and we start winning games and scoring more goals and we don't concede as many, we're going to be ever thankful that after 13, 14, 15 games or whatever the form maybe potentially starts kicking on, that he was our goalkeeper in there. Like Prime De Gea. I could name several goalkeepers, several of them, that you could go and say a performance of the highest quality through. Even Leicester goalkeepers of the past. Casey Keller, but the penalty king that was Peggy Arfaxad. Kasper Schmeichel, his Danish counterpart. We're all saying we're worried about finding a replacement for Vardy as our centre forward. We've managed to literally go countryman for countryman, like for like with Mads Madsen when after losing Kasper Schmeichel. Wayne, I would love to say he does. I really would. I'd love to say that he just he stays. He seems like somebody that doesn't really have eyes on jumping ship for the sake of jumping ship. Because if he would have, he'd have forced her to move to Chelsea when they were sniffing around him, and he didn't bat an eyelid to it. Leicester went 40 million, they went no, and he just went, cool, I'm in goal for you guys this season. If we stay up, maybe we get a season out of him, and then maybe he moves on next season, unless we have a storming season, of course. But for now, I do think he stays around. Chris has changed the slide, so I'm just going to go through these for you. I hope we do. Easy Game says, I say De Gea, if you look back at when he was at United, he would have saved them 15 points a season. Well, through the turmoil of the first season or two, of David Moyes and that being reigned, they would have got battered in games where they took a point or only lost 1 or 2-0. There was many a game that David De Gea would have kept them up, and I think it's biblical that it took him a year and a half to find a new club after Manchester United. I think it's the most bizarre thing ever, because I believe he got the Golden Glove that year, and it's like, how are you not taking this guy on? I think he's playing for Fiorentina now, but it's absolutely bizarre that it took that long for him to get a club. He does. He reminds me of that because of how he is as well as the goalkeeper. Now then. This is one of them where it's not his fault because he's a left back. Contrary to belief, right? He is a left back. I know some of you might be thinking, really? It's a left back, Brad? But he's been playing right back for us most of the season. Yeah, I know. I can sense your confusion. Because I don't understand how any manager has looked at JJ, seen him utterly useless on the right-hand side of the field, barring goals against Arsenal, where he's done something of good on the right, and seen him play minimally on the left and have a really good game, and still decided, no, JJ's best position is right back. My advice to Ruud van Nistelrooy, and I'm sure he won't care or give a jot about it or even find out about it, but if he was to take one bit of advice from a fan, if you're not going to play Hamza Chowdhury right back, don't play wing backs. Pack the midfield, three at the back, pack the midfield, do whatever you need to, just don't play wing backs, because we can't have a left back playing right back. When he's played on the left, he's actually been good, because he's comfortable on the left. He's a left back. He knows what he's doing on that left-hand side. I'll say it again, just in case by chance Ruud van Nistelrooy is bored on his phone, he's accidentally clicked on his channel. He's a left back. Play him left back. If you play him left back, he won't have a crap rating. As it is, he's been fucking dreadful on that right. He has been just as much to blame as Wout Faes is for the goals we have conceded. He was at fault for the first, the third and the fourth goal in his positioning, his clueless running, his running back like this and not looking around where players were. D-. And I'm being generous. And I'm only giving him higher than a U because he's played on the left and actually played well. It's not, and again, it's not his fault. You play him on the left, he's a better player. He really is a better player. And if I was judging him on right side and left side, it would probably be a U for the right side and a D plus C minus on the left. But because he's played predominantly on that right side, he's looked like a fish out of water. He's looked like a goldfish in a lake full of carp and pike, right, on that right-hand side. I have to give him... I'm going to change it. I'm not going to be too... I'm going to give him a D+. Because, he's not been awful, but he has just been just as bad. He has had some shining moments. And for me, I can't give him a positive. And a positive grade for me is like a C or above. Like a D- is like, oh, you just fell short. So I'm going to give him a D+. And again, this feels harsh because it's not his fault. That'd be like Chris said, that'd be like you being, I don't know, that'd be like you being a receptionist for the Prime Minister and then getting told you've got to run the government with no experience of it. And then lo and behold, every decision you make, everybody hates because you haven't got a clue what you're doing. You can't ask somebody to do a role they're not prepared for. And whether we like the way Kristiansen handled Enzo or not, Kristiansen was asked, if you're in his team, I want you to play as an inverted wing-back. He went, I can't play it. And Enzo went, well, I'm not playing it. And he went, well, setting me out on loan. I'm not saying Justin will do that, but my point is, maybe Justin shouldn't be a yes man just for the sake of playing football. Because all he's done is damage his own reputation. He's damaged his own credentials of how good a defender he is. We're talking about a man who was doing so well for us at left back. And again, just in case you listen rude, left back, he started getting recognition and picked for the England squad. All right, we know the England squad picking was only friendlies and crappy qualifiers that didn't mean anything to him. But nonetheless, he was bumping people out of that international side like Ratwell. And, Walker wasn't playing out there or anyone else because JJ was doing so well on the left for Leicester and playing really well that he did. This grade has the biggest potential to change to a lot higher grade. But for now, Chris, welcome back. Hermansen, get what I gave him.
Yeah, I saw that one, yeah.
JJ gets a D+ because he's actually played a few games on the left this season. Otherwise, it would be a horrendous grade.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for being so long. Amazon doing their normal trick of coming and leaving it at the bottom of the stairs.
Lovely.
Which apparently, according to the driver who I managed to catch, that's a shed.
A funny looking shed, mate.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, let me get my breath back.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I'll just go through these while you get your breath back and have a think about JJ. Easy one says it's a hard game. He's out of position. Cooper played him as a winger and a right back at the same time. It says kept playing him. Don't worry, we know what you meant. GPM probably being nice and read because this is a C more than what he's up to now. Ray kind of disagrees with what I said, but I get it. We need to be playing 4 with 2 wing backs. Maybe that is a better way to go. Easy then gives him a D. I said D+, so D+. And a bit like me, Wayne says, I feel sorry for JJ. Bad management can really screw up confidence and careers. And I do. He feels a bit lost and low on confidence, Chris. Over to you, mate. I'm going to take a break now. You made me talk for longer than... Normally, this is what... I don't talk this long when you ask me a question on the postman.
I know. Well, that's why I was confident in you being able to fill in. Thinking about who's coming up next, this guy... You sometimes say that a move to a club can ruin a player's career. A manager coming into a club can ruin somebody's career. And this is this guy. Kristiansen, who I liked when he came in, I thought he was going to do well, has been Cooper's choice on the left. Cooper, the clown, they used to be our manager, that said he wanted to bring in experienced players and then refused to play one of our most experienced Premier League stars in Ricardo, moved James Justin over to the right. Now, James Justin can play right, and he is right-footed.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. If you check his stats, he can play on the right. But he's not very good on the right. I can remember watching him last season against Southampton, one of the earliest games in the season when he came back. And I was thinking, my God, he's awful. But he's only first game back from injury and he's on the right. I put it down to him being injured. No, he can't play on the right. He was instrumental in goals again yesterday. He's instrumental in seems to be all our goals. And again, the fans can see it. Why can't the fucking managers see it? You know, that ball, like you say, was running through between it was, Farty Faes and Jittery Justin. Neither of them were going to stop the guy running through and scoring. I've agreed with you, D+, purely because, the few times he has played on the left, and he did get a couple of goals against Arsenal. But that is not rude. Play him, and I think you said this, play him in the position that he is expected to play in, that we signed him to play in.
Yes.
End of. So I've gone D+. I was tempted with a C-, but he just can't play on the right. He's cost us so many goals this season.
Yeah, and I swear to God, if after his training session today and maybe tomorrow, Rude picks him and he's on the right-hand side, I'm going to have a cry on Tuesday night.
but Easy says there, but we did have a right back that was fit, Ricardo. Look, if he was just on this game, I would have said fine. But he was playing him when Ricardo was fit.
Yeah.
And look, to me, if I'm a manager and I look at it and go, right, I've got a left back here and I've got a problem on the right back. Now, as a left back, he's 100%, but as a right back, he's only 50%. But I've actually got a right back in the first team. So if I put him in that position, he might be 75%. He'll be better than sticking somebody in out of position. Or even stick fucking Chowdhury in there, for God's sake. And we said he was bad. Sorry.
No, like I said, Chris, this is one of the ratings we're going to give and feel harsh about because quite opposite to Hermansen, who I honestly won't be. I just, unless he suddenly goes AWOL and starts being shite, I'm not going to change my mind on how he's going to be at the end of the season. I'm already saying he's going to be our player of the season. JJ, at least, if he's played in the right position, has the chance to improve and tell us. Yeah.
Become manager, Easy. Be our manager, please. Do you want me to carry on and still give you a break, seeing as you've spoken so long? Because we've got to talk about this guy next.
Go on then, because I feel like we're both a little bit... It's like that with him, isn't it? Depending on the game.
No. I have to say. Ooh. Where did you get that bit from? That bit? Yeah, but no, that bit. Look,
I think he's been all right. This could be
I loved Kristiansen. I thought he was going to... When we got he came in a bad season when we got relegated. And then he was shipped out because he didn't fit into our style. And I do feel like Cooper was play Kristiansen at any cost, even if it means moving JJ over. So I think JJ suffered because of this guy. Very rare during a game that I've been watching where he's actually run down that wing and got a cross in. I'd say 7 times out of 10, he runs down the ring and then cuts back on himself and comes back. I've seen him run down that wing, come back, and the ball end up back with bloody Hermansen. Mm-hmm. He isn't as good as I thought he was going to be. He's very disappointing. Drop him. Look, if he was any good, we wouldn't have been arguing about him knocking JJ off the spot. But he isn't that good. So if he's not good enough to fill JJ's boots and JJ has, when JJ's moved, there is question marks over him. I'm sorry, I am going to have to give him a D. And I go again D+ for Justin, and that's just because he's out of position. But for Kristiansen, D for disappointing for me, Brad, I'm afraid.
I think you're being a little bit harsh, but I do understand the points you're making because
your opinion is wrong, as we say.
Well, yeah. That's what I think of yours. But no, I do agree to a point because there's been some games where I felt this might be the better option might be to put another left back on here, and it's not Luke Thomas, right? Because how any don't start Brad because he's coming up soon, but how anybody is getting in front of Luke is not getting in front of Luke Thomas concerns the living shit out of me. Anyway, I don't think he's actually been that bad, Chris. And to be fair to him, he has gotten himself free and in space and overlapped Mavididi at times when he's played as well, and he's not been given the ball. And he's actually had to come back to then being seen as an option. And then he's gone, well, now it's no good. I've come back to let you know, hello, I'm on the pitch, I'm making the runs. And I think that was more restrictive Cooper ball. Let's move forward this way. That seeing someone blast forward and go down the left, they're like, that's a really good run, mate. But we can't do that. The boss said not to. You know, and so I think his game was a little bit hampered by Cooper's tactical, I want to say something, but I won't, tactical stupidity, I'll just say to refrain from using a word. But I do agree, there has been some oppositions, Chris, we've come up against where the calm, collective, defensive-minded JJ was needed more than the adventurous Kristiansen who likes to make constant overlaps all the time. And some game managing situations needed JJ over there more than Kristiansen. I'm not too much better than you, but I am going to give him a C-, because I have seen quality in him, and there has been sometimes that he's bailed out the Hair Bear Bunch and others a few times with his defensive work. But yes, he seems to be a specialist for certain opponents player.
Yeah. Which you don't want, because you don't want to be swapping players in and out. You want to protect the team. Seemed Enzo did know how to play him, indeed. GPM has gone for a C. I think you are being... Well, look, it's opinions, isn't it? It's opinion is opinions. Right, let's rush through these now, because we're otherwise Brad will moving in with me. Theo, Easy's gone for a C at the end of the day. Not a P, a C. Stefan Mavididi.
A little bit like Fatawu, but not as bad in the sense that he has actually been able to show a little bit of his quality from the championship season to this one. He must be praying that Ruud van Nistelrooy is not another Cooper and can't see what he offers the team. Because, yes, the game was dead. Yes, it was 4-1 when he came on, but he ran his knackers off. And I actually had an opinion, Chris, and we've said this before, and obviously butterfly effect, it might not have happened. But I got that feeling in the 20-odd minutes he was on against Brentford, that had we seen that energy, that tenacity from the whole entire squad that Mavididi gave us, it might not have been so bad. I'm not saying we would have won or even drawn the game. We might have still lost the game. But he came on, Chris, and considering the game was dead and buried, you thought, it's not me, he's running around. You know what we said, Chris? Impress the manager. Yeah. Well, if there was one bloke that came on to try and have a point to prove and say, yeah, Ruud, this is why I should be playing against West Ham on Tuesday night, not any of these gobshites, it was this man. Having said that, because of his restrictive game time and his up and down in his form, you know, one good game, one bad game, it seems, when he's played or been given the opportunity to start, I'm going to give him a C+. Ooh. I'm giving him a C+, Chris, because I think when he's been good, he's been up there for man of the match talks more time than not.
The problem I've got with players like this is I think he's a bit of a confidence player.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, look, you know, we've always said, like, how are you gonna keep form? Look, when these players aren't playing in these games, there's no reserve game that they can go to now. We used to have the reserve league, so if you're not starting, you're not really getting any proper game time. And if you're not starting week in, week out, and that's what your player of this standard needs to be, because when he comes on, he scares the opposition, and we've seen that he's had, you know, two players on him sometimes, like Fatawu has. Not far off you. You've gone for a C+. I've actually gone for a B-. So we're there or thereabouts, aren't we?
Yeah, to be fair.
Easy says underused. GPM need to go. Yeah, all the best, GPM. Thanks for popping in. He's gone for a C for Easy. Wayne, Motivator has massive... Motivator. Where did that come from, Motivator? Mavididi has massive potential. Can he fulfill that? Oh, until he starts playing regularly, we won't know. And a C for GPM. Like I say, GPM, thank you for popping in, mate. All the best, and we'll see you next time. Casey McAteer.
I've been impressed with what he's been able to do when he's played, and I was very surprised that on suggestion of the layout of the team, I know there was some conflicting ones, but when we played with what seemed to be two wide midfielders or forward-thinking wing-backs, if you will, why McAteer wasn't played, Chris? There's another name we could throw into the mix, because if you check out his career, Chris, from the very young age that he's been at Leicester since, he started off as a right-back.
Mm.
For me, he did nothing wrong in the couple of games he's played. I wanted him to play against Brentford. I'd have been very happy with him to play, to have played yesterday. I think he would have done well. I think he'd have caused them problems. And with Fatawu out, we desperately need someone to grab that position by the scruff of his neck and make it his own. I was disappointed he didn't play yesterday. So much so that I am going to give this guy who's not played a lot of football, Chris, I'm going to give him a C.
Wow. Okay. We agreed on you for Daka. That was one we agreed on. This is the second one we've agreed on, because I've gone C as well. He's played in 6 matches. He's actually created 2 scoring opportunities. XG, I'm not bothering with because they're all the same, 0 point whatever. Again, young, when he comes on, he puts the fear of God into the opposition. And that's what we need. The youngsters that aren't scared to do what they naturally do, which is try and win a game.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Just what we need.
Yeah. And Wayne's gone C.
Is he Spanish?
Sorry?
Is he Spanish, Wayne?
CC. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right. Can I go first?
Yeah, go
on. Why is this man still anywhere near our club? And I can only judge him on his performances. He has been played out of position, and it's been a bit unfair. And I did say that when the new manager comes in, that every player should have a clean sheet and start again, with one exception. This guy. This guy, they must put a restraining order on him at the King Power so that he can't come within 10 miles of the ground.
Yeah.
I'm not being awful. He can't tackle, which is what he's supposed to be, a defensive midfield. That was supposed to be his forte. He can't pass. I mean, he played a pass forward yesterday in the game, went right past the player and out of play.
Yeah, great quality passing.
Yeah, and when he's had a shot on goal, well, like I said earlier, it makes Jeffrey Schlupp look good. The guy is past his sell-by date. I can't believe it. Did we not give this guy a new contract in the summer?
We did, because we was going to lose him on a free, and at the time, I was very glad that he signed a new deal.
That was under Enzo. So I get that, and he was a good player under Enzo. We know that. What I used to like about the Enzo team was that you'd have Mavididi run. No, you wouldn't. You'd have Fatawu running down the right. He would play a blind ball forward, and suddenly from nowhere, Ndidi would come in and get it. I haven't seen any of that this season.
No.
You can blame Cooper. You can say, Enzo saw the best in him, Cooper didn't. But we can only judge him on this season and his performances. And I'm really, really sorry for this. I've got to go for a U- again.
Well, I mean,
no, I'm going to take that back because that's been a bit unfair because he's not as bad as Cordova-Reid. I'm going to go U.
No, you can't give him. You're not allowed to go that high.
I'm not giving anybody a fucking U+, but I'm giving him a U.
I hate to see this downfall happen because I really, really like the man. And a bit like you with Daka last season, I've tried to defend him, and you shouldn't really be doing that when he's a midfielder. And if you're ready for a costume change, Chris, I've got 6 aside. I've got 6 aside after this, so I've just thought I get pre-ready now. But yeah, I'm disappointed. Again, a little bit like JJ, if you actually play the fucking bloke where he's supposed to be playing when he's most lethal, he might be a better player. Unfortunately, I don't see this player's grade changing too much, especially not from your perspective, Chris, and not from mine either. I want him to be a better student than he's being right now. You know what, Chris? I'm going to give him a grade you wouldn't allow me to give to Cordova-Reid. He's going to have a U+.
I'll let you go for a U+ with Ndidi. Because I'm feeling in a bit better mood. But I'll let you have that one. Right, obviously you've got football coming up, so let's get a little bit quicker with these. Coady, for me, didn't rate him at the start of the season, or it didn't help the fact that his first touch in the Leicester shirt, although it was pre-season, was putting the ball in the back of his own net. He's looked good. It's early days for him, but he's looked dodgy at times. But like you say, I think he's probably one for the future. I've gone C.
Yeah, I think there's a bag of potential. Maybe if we can find someone that isn't a donkey to pair with him. That goes for both Faes and Coady. I didn't say your love child in that, though. I was impressed with him. I'm gutted he came off injured because he was the bright spark of a pathetic back line. Do we concede 3, 3 and 4 with him in? I genuinely don't think we do, because the 3 defenders we had on were all worse than him by a country mile. He was actually unlucky not to get a block on their equaliser, Chris, and KOing himself and knackering himself on our goalkeeper. I'm with you, Chris. Hopefully it's not a long injury. Hopefully he might miss Tuesday's game at best, or at worst. C+.
C+. Oh,
yeah. Okay. I think he's got that real potential to be up there at the end of the season, Chris.
Yeah. Alrighty. And I'm not going to read everybody's marks out now, but I will put them up as we go through. Don't think he's been our best centre-back. I mean, easy think so. Easy.
I mean, it's not hard when you're up against the likes of Faes and Coady, granted, but yeah.
Yeah. Next up, this gentleman, Ricardo.
It's such a shame that he is about as sturdy as sugar glass in a movie prop, because for some reason, maybe Cooper never got the notes on Ricardo. I don't know, because he was crying out for a right back, and Pereira was sat there going, "Hello, Gaffer." Although maybe
me.
a bit like Kristiansen when he's on the pitch making overlaps. Although maybe Cooper knew something we didn't. Maybe he knew he was a stiff breeze away from tearing something or pulling something. Because yet again, Chris, maybe it's the level of the Premier League. I don't know, because he didn't suffer one in the Championship. But yet again, Chris, a lengthy spell on the sideline. For Ricardo, it's been a recurring problem we've had since pretty much that injury he had all them years ago. He's never really recovered. I don't think he's due back till mid-January, so that's probably February at the latest, once he's match fit and up and running. And then we'll be praying from then on that he goes to the end of the season without an injury. Having said that, when he's been allowed to play football with his mates, like some naughty kid that no one wants around their house, he still lacked it for me, Chris. I'm going to give him a D.
D.
He's not had that flair when normally when Ricardo's come back, he's bounced back and injected something on that right wing, hasn't he? He was very good at supporting Fatawu in the Championship last season. Unfortunately, we won't get to see that again this season, even if Ricardo does come back fit and stays fit because of Fatawu's situation. But yeah, D.
I was going to give him a C-, but I have upped it to a C. When he's played, it's not his fault. But again, I put a star there because he's not played that much. Let's be honest with you. That again, that's not his fault. He is a sick note. Definitely is a sick note. We need to look at trying to cash in on him. I'm going to go first with this one because I think Brad know which way he's going. Skip. Now then, what can I say about Oliver Skip? I like Oliver Skip.
I'm not swearing at the camera.
I don't think he's played badly when he's come on. I really don't. In fact, at times I think he's played better than Winks. He obviously came on for Winks when Winks was injured, but that wasn't obviously good enough to get him into the squad yesterday. But I don't think that he's done anything wrong. He is a defensive midfielder. I'd sooner have him in the squad 100 times over Ndidi and 3 times on a Sunday. I just don't know why this guy isn't getting more game time than Ndidi is. I really, really don't. 20 million we paid for him. You could argue whether that was a lot. I know Brad thinks it is a lot. I think he's done all right. I really, really do. He's done nothing. I'm going to give him a B-. I really am. What has he done wrong? What has he done in games?
He cost us 25 million that we could have spent on a right back.
20 million. 20. Come on.
Sorry, 20 million. I suppose we'll never activate the bonus.
At this point, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Brad is changing his trousers.
I'm just going to cut this short and sweet, not just because of what I've just said to you over the chat, but
Sorry, right, I didn't see that.
Harry Winks. This will hint at where I'm going for the rest of the grades, which you can get off me before I leave, Chris.
Yeah.
Samare, Skip, and Ndidi.
Type them into the chat. Them into the chat, then I'll read them out as we go through them.
Yeah, Skip is my third. Skip's my third choice, and I'm going to give him a C- because if I take the value out of his head, C-. He's not been brilliant, mate. He's
more
not
than
been.
I thought you were going to give him. More than I thought you were going to give him. Brad, you got to go. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's left. Give me the list of players who's left, mate, and I'll type.
So we've got Samare.
Yeah.
Thomas, Vardy, Vestergaard, Ward, and Winks.
Thomas, Vardy, Vestergaard, Ward, Winks. Yeah, okay. I'll title it up now and I'll go off camera. But yeah, you.
Thank you very much, Brad. Thank you very much for coming in. Good luck at the footy tonight.
Cheers, mate.
You never know, there might be a Leicester City scout there.
Maybe. I'll take Danny Ward's place.
You can take anybody's place. Cheers, buddy. Take care.
Bye, mate. Cheers.
Thanks to Brad for popping in. Like you said, I didn't think it was going to go on this long, to be honest with you, but it's just one of those chats, isn't it? So that's Skip, a C- and a B-. Now, this guy, is he good because everybody else is so shit? Or is he good because he's finally coming good? Look, we know there's a good player in there. He won, was it the French League with Lille? Again, it was one of those signings that Dingo Rogers signed. We wanted a box-to-box midfielder. Why not buy a box-to-box midfielder? Why go out and buy somebody that doesn't play that role and try and convert them? I've been impressed with him when he's come on this season. Again, not a lot of play that he's had. He's not played as much, but look, he created one of those goals in the game. Somebody will remind me which game because my mind has gone dead and I've forgotten. But I'm actually quite been quite impressed in what he's done these last 3 games. So much so, and I know Brad's not so keen on Skip, but I'd have Skip and Sumari. I really would. Look, we know Sumari can go forward, and I tell you what Sumari has got. He's got, that midfield enforcer. He's built like a brick shit house. Thank you, Brad. Got them. Cheers, buddy. I have gone. Well, I've actually agreed with Brad. I've gone for a B plus, and so has Brad, and I think he deserves that. To be honest with you, because he has started to play now. Oh, Easy's gone for a D. He works his socks off when he plays. It's just the price tag C plus. Well, okay, sorry. The D must have been for Skip, was it? I'm lost with who you with here, Easy. We'll go for a B minus for a B. Sorry, for Sumari from what he's played, and that's it. That's it. We have to, take it the fact that it is from what he's played. But I think we need that Roy Keane sort of character in the middle. You're not going to look at Ndidi and think, would you want to meet Ndidi down a back alley on a dark night? Yeah, because you could probably knock him over. Would you want to meet Sumari down that same alley on a dark night? No, I'd run a bloody mile. That's the sort of player we need. Tito is in. Hi, Tito. How are you? Hope he makes the tough decisions. Well, we're going through the decisions today. Give the youth unknown a chance, nothing to lose. Just our Premier League status, unfortunately. Moving on from Sumari. God, what a shame, Luke, Brad had to leave. Although I don't think I think we'll still be talking about this player tomorrow if Brad was still here. I mean, yeah, I'd use them. Yeah, well, yeah, I know what you're saying, Easy. I've gone for 2 defensive. You've gone for two attackers. They've sort of been mixed in somehow. He's gone for a U, has, not surprisingly. He's got Sumari's reliable, Thomas is useless. I can't judge him on what he's done for us in the past. We did loan him out, and he came back. In fact, one of those loans was cut short. Sheffield United, who themselves were trying to stay, if you remember, in the Premier League. I think, despite what has happened in the past, we can't, we would have been up shit's creek without him that one season, but we can't keep going back to that. We're judging him on this season, for Chris. So, are you from Brad? I am going to go a D minus, so just above a U, because he's had a couple of good moments, but when I say couple, I literally mean couple. I really do. All right, let me just write the rest of these down for Brad, and then I can stay on. Right, so next up, Jamie Vardy. Where do we go with Jamie Vardy? D for am I going to be quick for you? D from Easy Gaming for Thomas. Jamie Vardy. We'd be up shit creek without a paddle without him, wouldn't we? There's been games when he stood there and looked completely, what do I do? What do I do, boss? Where do I go? And I've got to say, that's not his fault. That's purely because he's not getting the ball. There's no point being a striker if we don't give the striker the ball and he's having to come deeper and deeper to get it. You know when Brendan took over from Claude Puel, he got Vardy playing like that, didn't he? And the fact that we are relying on a 38-year-old almost, I don't know he's turned yet, 38-year-old as our main striker says it all. It really says it all. And it's a damning indictment of the rest of the team that we're relying on Jamie Vardy at his age. I think we would be really struggling with him, even if his presence as the captain. Even if he went, if his honesty, or if he was asked, or he was approaching top, if he did, to say, look, things aren't right. That's what a captain does. C from Brad, but I'm actually going to go. If I've given Samari a B plus, I'm going to give Vardy an A minus, because look, we wouldn't be anywhere without his goals, would we? I agree, Easy. You have got a point there, which is Leicester could do with a point, couldn't we? Let's be honest with you. I've got A minus because when we've needed him, he's been there. Palace, for example. But I just, it's not his fault that he's not getting the service. So I've gone A minus for Vardy. Now then, next up, Yannick, Big Yan. Started the season, got injured. It's funny, isn't it? Not a funny joke, funny ha-ha. An A minus. Yeah, you've agreed with me for Jamie Vardy, Easy. Great minds. I like the cut of that man's jib. Vestergaard. Where do I go with Vestergaard? Proved his worth last season. He can play if he's played in the right position, in the right formation. And we saw that last season. And I think it says that how everybody hated him before Enzo came in, and this is why I said everybody should be given a clean sheet with Rude, except Ndidi, of course. You looked at, Cooper fell out with him, and look, I don't know why. It's obviously something happened, but you have to have a look at it and say, the fans were actually, when Vestergaard first came back on as a substitute, people were going, yeah, brilliant, Vestergaard's back. I'm like, wow, these are the people that couldn't, stand him, sort of thing, and saying he was awful and what have you. Brad's given him a C. In the games that I have seen him play, I have to agree. And he hasn't, again, not really played. He's been injured a lot. But he just kind of, it's got that thing about him when he's in defence, he'll just, in fact, I don't know, I'm going to up that to a C+. Because he does the simple things in defence, like put his foot in the way. He doesn't do anything, he'll just stand there, the ball's coming towards him, and it's almost like, stick my foot out, won the ball, thank you, good night, Vienna. I think if he started instead of Faes, we would have kept more clean sheets, in my opinion. Reminds me of Mertesacker. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, Easy. I do get what you're saying. But the problem when we know the problem with Vestergaard, look, he can take a free kick from our own penalty spot and land it on the penalty spot in the opposition's half. He's got the turning circle of the Titanic, and he's got the speed of a tortoise. So that's his problem. You've gone for a B minus. I've gone for a C plus. We're there or thereabouts. Easy. We've then got Danny Ward. Danny Ward. Look, again, like I said with Thomas, we have to look at it on this season. Penalty king, as Brad called him. He's doing what he does best. He plays in the cup games, and he does really well. Look, Salarchik is injured. He's out. Don't know when he's going to be back. It'll be next year sometime, if before the end of the season. So Lust and Everson seems to just dropped off the radar. So he does Easy. You're right. So I'm guessing that Ward's going to be number 2 for a while. He's not a number 1. I have to say that. And I was defending him, if you remember, when he got made up because he'd done so well in the cup games. But is he a very good number 2? That is the question. You know, when we play in the lower leagues teams in the cup, he does it. Would we be worried if? Well, look, he has, hasn't he? He has stood up for once in goal. I think this season. I could be wrong. I probably, knowing me, I am wrong. Let's have a look what it says about Danny Ward here. Danny Ward. No, he hasn't made any starts at all, so I was wrong in the league. I'm going to have to agree with Brad's gone C. I'm going to go C because, look, he did win that penalty shootout for us. And the fact that it went to penalties wasn't his fault. It was the rest of the bloody team being awful. And now, look, how much do we love this player last season? Player of the season, possibly. Signing of the season, definitely. And let's not forget, the Tottenham player said he isn't a Premier League player. He's a very excellent Championship player. Are we finding that out? Brad has gone D. He isn't the player that he was last season, but then we are in a lot different league now. We are in the Premier League. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna give him a C because I don't think he has done that bad. Maybe he set himself high standards with his performances last season, but I'm going to give him a C. Brad gave him a D. I'm going to give him a C. Look, I'm going to yes, you're right. You're right there. I will be putting these up on social media probably later on tonight or tomorrow. I've got another show coming up at 7 o'clock, which is the preview show. The preview show for West Ham. I mean, they got battered, what was it, 5-2 yesterday? We got battered. I see, you agree. You're agreeing with me again. We're going to have to stop agreeing easy. I mean, we lost 4-1. They lost 5-2. Do you know what? It's a little bit worrying, isn't it? Don't forget that if you do want to catch up on the shows that we've done this week, there they all are. I will put these ratings up, like I say, on social media. Those are this week's shows. They can all be found at Leicester Till I Die on YouTube, LTID TV on all the social medias, but on YouTube to watch them, LTID TV or Leicester Till I Die. And you can catch up with those are the 6 shows prior to this that we've done this week. Do go and check them out if you've missed any. Look, thanks to Brad for coming in earlier. It's been a long one. We're just coming up to 2 hours, but we have gone through every single player. Alves, we couldn't really rate him on a little bit we've seen, but we will be playing West Ham. Let's see. Let us see. Rude's first game in charge. West Ham massive. Rob will be joining me at 7 o'clock. Don't miss it. But there will be square. Thanks to everybody in the chat, Easy and all the other guys. Really do appreciate you popping in. I will see you at 7 o'clock. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday if you're not popping in. And we will talk later. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.